Mr. Speaker, much has been, this is what, the 8th day of the Republican shutdown of government. Small businesses cannot get loans to expand. Veterans have some uncertainty about their benefits, tuition assistance, and the rest. Millions of women and children will go without nutrition programs they so desperately need. The shutdown could be over in hours if Republicans would stop being the party of no and just take yes for an answer. So in case you don't know, I have some very good news for you. Democrats have not only been willing to negotiate, Democrats have already stated that they are ready to cooperate. Cooperate. For example, I have good news. Perhaps you missed the fact that the 200 Democratic members of the House have signed a letter saying that they're willing to accept the Republican number of 986, even though, as the gentleman said, we don't like this number. We don't think it's adequate. But the fact is, we don't like shutting down government more. So in order to open up government, 200 members have signed the letter, and 5 additional members have made public statements of their willingness to support the Republican number. There's space in this letter for the signatures of some maybe just 17 Republicans to sign, but they don't have to sign the letter. Many of them have made public statements which we respect and honor as their public statement that they would vote for the Republican number of 286. So this wasn't you negotiated. The Speaker negotiated with Senator Reid. Senator Reid accepted the Republican House number. The President of the United States accepted the Republican House number. The Democrats in the House accepted the Republican House number. The only people not accepting the Republican House number are the Republicans in the House. So when the leadership of the Republican Party in particular go around saying it can't pass, the votes are not there, does that mean he does not trust the word of his own members who have said that they will vote for the 986? Let's find out. Let's bring the bill to the floor. As that's what we're saying. Just bring it to the floor. It's passed the Senate. The President stands ready to sign a number we don't like, but prefer over shutting down government. That is where we don't like it. We want to open the doors of government, and we're willing to use the key of the Republican number to do so. Last week, Democrats went a step further. In both public and private discussions, Speaker Boehner said that he doesn't want to go to conference on the budget, even though he asked for regular order in March. In March, early March, Senator McConnell and Speaker Boehner said they wanted regular order. That's a message to the President that Congress should work its will. That was good news to us. That means you pass a bill in the House, you pass a bill in the Senate, you go to conference to reconcile your differences. Perhaps the Speaker didn't think that the Senate would pass a budget, but they did as a matter of days, practically hours, after the House passed its budget. But what happened to regular order? It flew out the window. After saying we want regular order, no longer do the Republicans want to take yes for an answer. And why? Well, some of this is explained under the Speaker's own statement. Speaker Boehner said, under rules, listen to that word, rules. Under rules, if you appoint conferees and after 20 legislative days there's no agreement, the minority has the right to offer motions to instruct, which become politically motivated bombs to throw up on the House floor. So to be frank with you, we're following what I would describe as regular order. What I would describe as regular order is not under rules. Under rules are the rules of the House. The Speaker, awesome as the power of the Speaker is, and I understand that, do not have the power to just decide what regular order is. And if you don't want to honor regular order, just say you're not going to honor it, but don't redefine it in order to keep government shut down. So, listening to the Speaker not wanting to shut government down, wanting to, at first, and then after it was shut down, wanting to open it, the House Democrats took a step unprecedented by any minority party in the Congress of the United States. The House Democratic minority said, we will surrender, we will relinquish our right to motions to recommit, motions to instruct, an insider term, actually placing conditions on how we go to the conference table. So he said to the Speaker, don't worry about that. If that's important to you, if you want to shut down government because you're afraid of a motion to instruct, we'll allay your fears. Fear no more, Mr. Speaker. We will not offer these motions. That is, and as an example, we didn't offer the motion on the first night, which was our right to do when this bill was introduced, as all of you will agree was. So we have said, we have made that claim. This is, as I said, unprecedented, but is a necessary move to end the Tea Party stranglehold on our government and restore basic services on which millions of people rely. Yes for an answer? 200 signatures, and I wish, with unanimous consent, to submit this letter for the record.
Without objection.
200 signatures. It's a beautiful sight, because I want to tell you something. It's about cooperation. None of us likes this number. All of us want to open up government. That's why we signed it. And I want to thank Congressman Tim Bishop and Congressman Patrick Murphy and Congressman Keith Ellison for producing this result. Let me put that there. So, we've said yes to your, we're giving you the votes on something we don't like. We've said we won't do motions to instruct. Please take yes for an answer. If you insist on being the party of no, then don't hide behind something and saying who won't negotiate. We cooperated. We gave you what you wanted. And now here we are today. Republicans are offering yet another motion to keep government shut down. Some people call it in the press the super committee. Others call it the Ted Cruz committee. Whatever you call it, I'd like to know who writes this stuff. This is so ridiculous a proposal. So ridiculous a proposal. How about we go to the budget table and see how we can reduce the deficit, produce growth for our country? But all we're going to do is cut our investments in education, investments in making the future better. We're going to make seniors suffer more while we do not touch revenue. And we will not allow any discussion of closing special interest loopholes. That's how they want us to go to the table. You must be kidding. As I said, who writes this stuff? You know, sometimes there's an expression that people use, and flippantly they'll say, who do you think you are? If you say something, remember that from your childhood, if somebody say, who do you think? I think we have to take that sentence very seriously. Who do we, with an emphasis on think? That would be interesting. Who do we think we are? Do we think that we are a party that is responsible, all of us, a Congress that is responsible, that wants to do the right thing for the American people, know that we have to come here to cooperate with each other to get something done in a bipartisan way? To my fellow colleagues on the Republican side, I hope that's allowed, Mr. Speaker. They are members of the body. Do you think you have come here? Do you think you have come here to make sure that people know that you can do this just because you're doing it? It's just a waste, a total waste of time. And we don't have time to waste. In fact, we could be spending our time in such a more important way, working in a bipartisan way on entrepreneurship, creating growth for our country, investing in the education of our people, which, by the way, brings more money to the Treasury than any other initiative you can name. Early childhood, K through 12, higher education, lifetime learning. You want to reduce the deficit? Invest in education. You want to increase the deficit? Cut education. But let's sit down and talk about that. And the path to get there is one that says, say yes to 986, we did, your number, says accept our offer, we won't offer any instruction to the committee, but don't continue to be the Tea Party of no. Mr. Speaker, I hope that the Speaker, is that allowed, Mr. Speaker? I hope the Speaker will give us a vote so we can see where this Congress stands on the serious responsibility that we have, and if the Republicans will even accept what they are asking us to accept. This rule should be voted down. This commission is a joke, whether you call it the Ted Cruz Commission or the super in what way? Certainly not super in meeting the needs of the American people. To recap, A, we're giving you 200 votes for your number. Take yes for an answer. B, Speaker doesn't want any conditions or discussion or anything else on the floor about the budget. We're willing to accept that. Take yes for an answer.